Welcome back, everybody, to the berry edition. We got the first berry bush into a pot, and it's over a rock. It's going to be kind of cool. It might make the tree super cool compared to what it maybe would have been without the rock. So now we get to tackle the blueberries. These have not been growing in the yard for the last 5 to 6 years. Well, they have been, but they haven't been growing very much. So I decided, with the permission of my wife, to dig them up out of the yard and see if we can grow some blueberries in a bonsai pot instead of in the ground. Because it seems the ground is just not liking our blueberries, and so we need to mix it up a little bit. And as I've said many times on this channel, my green thumb seems to be a lot better with a bonsai emphasis than just house plants and plants in nursery pots. So we've got some nice moss up here. So we've got 2 trees that came from the ground, 2 blueberry bushes, excuse me, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can get these in a pot. So I'm going to put this down here, and we'll start with number 1 of 2. And we're going to tease away the soil. I've always wanted to do a blueberry pot, or I should say in the last couple of years. As I've done a lot of my research and looked on the web, some of the really cool pictures when you see some of the fruit trees. One of my favorite pictures is one of those bonsai trees where it's an apple tree. It's a shohin tree, and they show 1 apple on it. And you look at that picture and you study it and you go like, is that even real? Did that 1 apple grow on that tree? We'll see if I can get at least 1 berry on this future bonsai blueberry tree. So I have heard of people being successful with the blueberry bonsai. I think what's really neat about the blueberry bush is the color of the new growth is always this kind of reddish color. This is the newest growth up here that has kind of that red tint, almost like that red twig dogwood that I also have. You can go check out the red twigged dogwood. Try to say that fast 3 times when the wind's blowing at you. Okay, it's not really the wind's fault, it's my mouth's fault. But yeah, those I repotted a red twig a while back. That one's doing good in the cold frame, and looking forward to those new red branches growing. Well, the blueberries have kind of a red tint to them too. And then in the fall, these 2 varieties of blueberries, and I don't have the garden slip from 5 or 6 years ago to remember what variety of blueberries this is. But the fall colors for this blueberry bush are phenomenal. So it's another one of those, can it be a bonsai? Well, sure it can be. We're getting back budding and new branches. The rabbits have attacked this. The mice probably have attacked this. Who knows if the squirrels have. The birds have probably loved the berries once they've been on there. Sorry there, some dirt went right in my mouth. And, you know, but we really haven't seen a lot of berries and a lot of stunted growth in the ground. Usually we put trees in the ground to accelerate the growth, but we have just not had luck. We've had the blueberries in 2 spots in the garden, or in that side of the garden by the vegetables, and just to no success. So I'm going to be very careful to see what kind of root structure is down here. It's just kind of a gnarly mess right now, it appears. I'm starting to tease away some of the roots, and it's getting a little bit bigger in size. It's starting to spread out. It was kind of tucked into this really fairly rich black soil here. You know, not too bad a quality. We brought in some compost, and we've brought in some black dirt, and we've had good luck with our vegetable garden most years. But boy, this blueberry want nothing to do with it. So let me tease this away for a little while, and then we'll see what we got for a root structure, and we'll consider how it's going to fit into the pot. I've got 2 pots already. These are going to be the size that I'm going to put these in this time around. I think that's totally fine for space. It's a rectangle training pot, so we'll go ahead and see if those work. But let me tease some more of this away, and yeah, we'll chit-chat in a little bit. going to put this into this training pot. And it looks like we have a main trunk, we have a side branch over here and here, there's also one in the back. So we have 4 main branches, almost like a multi-style trunk tree. Do I take some of those out and make it a little bit more fun and interesting? So part of me wants to take this great big main one off because these have some curvature to them. And I have kind of this almost concave look to it though, but maybe I just keep one of the 2 leaders. But if I cut this one away, that certainly gets rid of some of the girth of the trunk. We always want a thicker trunk, and these are thinner. It's going to take a couple years to get this as thick as this, in a pot especially. So maybe we don't want to get rid of this. But what I don't like about this branch is that it is so straight. Boom, straight up and down. It's got some movement behind it though, where the new branches go. And if you look at it from the side, if we take this branch away, there is a little bit of movement from the nabari of the trunk kind of coming up here, and then this branch goes back that way. So we actually have some movement if we were to put this thing at an angle, and I think we leave that big trunk for now. And I think I'll do that. I think I'm going to keep this branch. Has some nice movement right here, and this is the main trunk, and if I plant it at an angle kind of like that, I think we're going to like that result. So I'm going to keep the big one. I'm going to get rid of this one for right now. I'm going to clean that up down here. In time, we'll never even know that that branch was there. So again, I'm looking at some kind of an angle like this, where we got this over here and this is coming up this way, and then it's got this movement right there. That straight section is really a bummer though. It's super straight, but who knows, maybe we'll get something to thicken part of that up. I don't know. I'd have to cut one of these interior branches off. So again, it's going to be something in the pot like this. Get some movement on the trunk instead. We certainly don't want it straight up in the air. It's not going to be a straight up tree. I want it to be a little off center. I could leave all 3 branches for now for some depth. I think I will for this season to see what grows. So if I'm keeping all of those, I do want to get rid of this little inside guy right here. We're not going to want him because he's competing for inside space. I don't know if I can clean him up or not. I can with the concave. That's good. And these guys overlap. So right here, this branch has this nice new branch right here, and this back over here is kind of dying out. It's a little bit more old looking. It's nice texture. We're going to cut that off right there. See if I can make it a little bit cleaner. There we go. So now this branch has some really fun movement right here. We'll hopefully this branch takes off. We could put something in there to try to space them out a little bit maybe. But that back branch here now, so here's this cool little movement here. This one's in the way, so why don't we just cut off some of that guy in the back. This part looks like it's dead anyway. We're going to cut this little guy off right here. And this one right here has a split right there. These two, it looks like a little possible future bud right there. And we'll hope this all comes back nice and strong. There. Now if we show our tree this way, we've got this big trunk over here with this fun moving one here. This could be the main trunk someday. This one back here could leave, but right now we have a triple trunk kind of tree, and we'll kind of see what happens. I'm assuming this branch right here is dead, so we got to keep this live vein here for now. And then up here, we'll decide that when we put it in the pot. So I got my wires in there. Let me get some soil here. Gonna mound up our soil, and I'm gonna take a peek at this so I can see the angle first. something like that. And then we're going to bring this corner to corner and get that one started. I keep getting dirt in my mouth on these episodes today. We'll spin this one into place. Not a ton of roots to hang on to down here, so we have to be gentle with this one probably for a while. So I've got a big root up front here that might come off one day, but I don't know if when it will, so I think I want to go underneath those guys so I don't damage those roots right now. See if I can. There it goes. All right. So I got lucky there, very lucky. Some more soil in there. There we have tree number one. Not a ton of trimming. We want this thing to go ahead and have as much life as possible after being re-rooted here, or repotted here. Took just a few roots off, not very many. Cutting off some of these dead branches. I think this guy right here might go. So we're going to help it along. We got the branch back here that might have some growth back here. This guy right here. So if that grows, great. If not, we'll cut that trunk back and we'll just have this twin trunk for right now, and we'll see what happens. So this was a pretty big chop last year or the year before. This is broken off, so let's just cut it right there. We got this new as the leader, and that's all. That's all we can do for this one right here. So we have one of two blueberries done. Let's go put this outside and get ready for blueberry number 2. Welcome back to part 2 of part 2. Blueberry bush number 2. The first one we worked on was by far the better of the two by looks, just out of the ground. This one has just one trunk with a couple of feeders coming off, a couple of suckers that look like they're trying to grow. But I don't think we'll make this into a multi-trunk. We're going to clean this up and hopefully have just one tree with ramification up top. But we'll see. We've got a couple here growing. I'll try to keep them intact while I'm doing this. I'm getting rid of some soil. So we have the same size pot. We have about a 6-inch pot. And we're going to go ahead and put this second blueberry in a similar pot. The same soil, the same root job, and we're gonna put them side by side, and we'll see if we can get some blueberries this year on one or the other, or perhaps both. So let's tease this for a little while, and then we'll take a peek at the tree in the pot in a few moments. We'll spread these out, and we'll be able to get more trimming next time around, because I want to again make sure that these blueberry bushes do well. We got a couple long ones here I can just kind of cut out, but that's about it. I don't want to do any more to this tree. I want to get it into a pot here. So we're going to go ahead and put some soil at the bottom here. We're going to mound up. And we have a tree that has a really huge nabari down here. It's a really big bulge right down here. This is a really big trunk. So I don't know which way that's going to go. I think we'll look at it this way. So for you, it's going to look something like that. We're going to have to twist it a little bit. Just because of the way the trunk is, that's how we're going to put this thing in the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and crisscross this one right here across the front, because it's going to be the most secure. We might only need one tie on this one wire, especially with the thickness of wire that I have here. This is probably a size too much. If this is a 2, a 1.5 would have been better. This will hold the tree in place, that's for sure. Yeah, that's absolutely not going anywhere. This one across the front might scar it a little bit, and I don't think this wire is going to reach either, just like my last one. Those were just leftover wires that looked close, but no cigar. Maybe down here, a little extra support. Let's do it right here, a little extra support in the front, low enough where it won't scar the trunk. And that'll give it just a little bit more security. So there we have a tree. It's in the back. It's a little bit too much in the center. I'd like to have moved that over a little bit. But we'll deal with that next year and the next 2 years from now or so with the next repot. So let's get some sorrel on here, and then we'll see about trimming any branches. Put this one in a big mound, so there are not too many air pockets right underneath the tree. I'm not finding too many. There's one. Shaking down in there, getting some of these on this side. That was the weaker side of the tree, if I remember correctly. All right, so we have ourselves a little tree here. Now we're going to have to cut off some of this stuff. It's all wonky and all over the place. So if this is the front of our tree, it looks like it's two trees that are blending together right here. Once you wash away a little bit here, let me give it a little water here first. All right. It's leaning a little back. Not the greatest pot job here, but we want this thing to be alive. I'm going to cut off this branch that's coming right at the camera. Right at me at the moment, but right at the camera. So I just cut that one off right there. This one's taken off wild and crazy. This one's wild and crazy, but they're probably still alive. I got a branch growing straight, horizontal off the back. I'm just going to clean that whole thing up right there. So yeah, this is like it's two branches that have melded together, two trunks here. Very interesting tree so far. I'm going to get rid of some of these branches that are just kind of in the back. These were trimmed back. I'll have to say that I know I did go in at one point and I trimmed this tree a little bit in the thought that one day it would become a bonsai. So I cannot tell a lie. I did hope that this would become a bonsai if it really didn't bear fruit for very much longer. So I think I did make a couple of prunes that I don't know if it was advantageous at the time, seeing as the tree looks a little bit odd here, but the other one certainly looked better. So we got this new growth right here. Right there, 2 buds on that guy, growing from this mess right here. Don't know what that's going to do. And this is a big gnarly chunk right here. So clean that up a little bit. And hope this guy up front does okay. And if it doesn't, we take that one off. This one will come off if it doesn't work. We're just going to let these branches do their thing this year and see what happens. Got this cool movement of a branch right here. Maybe the tree will go that way someday, completely different. Let's cut this one off right here. Let's cut this one off. It's got a split here, but it sticks straight. We're going to cut it back right there. We hopefully get some back button here. So there we go. Not the prettiest of trees by any stretch of the imagination. This is not going to win any awards, but it's going to be in a pot. It's going to have some root healing, hopefully. We'll keep a close eye on it and make sure that it's watered real nice and protected from critters this year, and then we'll see. This guy will probably eventually come off. If this one does not come off, this whole thing right here will come off in support of that one. I actually probably should do that right now. Should we just do that right now? There we go, we did it. I am willing to take that risk on that big branch for this little one that looks like it is ready to pop. So we can clean up more of that later. We'll see what these two over here do for maybe, could even be a cascade, semi-cascade someday, who knows. So, a little bit of a tough angle. We'll get her in a couple of years. So there you go. Blueberry tree, well, hopefully a tree down the road. Blueberry bush, blueberry tree number 2, complete. Okay everyone, there we go. A couple of blueberries out of the ground and in some pots. Super excited to see what happens with that. This has been a fun repotting season so far. March Madness has been absolutely a blast. I got that rock in that berry bush in episode number 1. Who knows what that'll look like in a couple of years. Hopefully that survives. We got these 2 blueberries now in bonsai pots, so that's going to be super cool. Maybe in a couple of years we'll get some blueberries, some fruit down there. It's just been fun, one surprise after another, and trying to make these bonsai work. A lot of experimentation, as always. And that does it for another episode of Dave's Bonsai. I thank you so much for watching. Click like if you liked. Go ahead and sign up, subscribe if you haven't already. Tell all your friends about me and the channel. And would love to talk to you soon about another tree, so I will do that. So hey, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and I'll catch you on the next show. Bye-bye, everyone.